This is the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 47 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara, and today we're diving into the third episode of our Advanced Conversion Strategy series with something that can make or break your entire lead generation system. I'm talking about contact forms that actually get filled out, the specific psychology behind form design, what questions to ask, how to minimize friction, and how to turn form submissions into scheduled appointments. Last week, we covered landing page optimization and how to create pages that establish trust and communicate value. Today, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the actual conversion mechanism, the contact form itself. Here's a statistic that might shock you. The average contact form conversion rate across all industries is only 2.35%. But for healthcare, it's even lower, around 1.8%. That means for every 100 people who visit your landing page, fewer than 2 will actually fill out your contact form. But here's what's really interesting. I've seen chiropractic practices achieve contact form conversion rates of 15 to 25% using the strategies I'm going to share with you today. The difference between a 2% conversion rate and a 20% conversion rate isn't just incremental improvement, it's the difference between a struggling practice and a thriving one. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to design contact forms that people actually want to fill out, and more importantly, how to turn those form submissions into booked appointments. But first, let me share what happened when I helped a client completely redesign their contact form approach. This practice had a beautiful website, great SEO, and they were driving about 200 visitors per month to their main landing page. But they were only getting about 3 form submissions per month. That's a 1.5% conversion rate. Their contact form was a classic example of what not to do. It asked for 12 different pieces of information, including insurance details, emergency contacts, and their entire medical history before someone could even request an appointment. It looked more like a patient intake form than a lead generation tool. We completely rebuilt their approach. Instead of asking for everything up front, we created a simple 2-step form that focused on understanding their problem and getting basic contact information. The results were immediate. Within the first month, their form submissions jumped from 3 to 28. Same traffic, but nearly 10 times more leads. But here's the really important part. Those leads were also higher quality because the questions we asked helped pre-qualify prospects and gave the practice valuable information for follow-up. So what makes the difference between a form that converts and one that doesn't? Let me break down what I call the psychology of form conversion. Principle number 1, perceived value versus perceived effort. Every time someone looks at your contact form, they're unconsciously weighing the value they'll receive against the effort required to complete it. If your form asks for 10 pieces of information, but only promises someone will contact you, the effort far outweighs the perceived value. But if your form asks for 3 pieces of information and promises, get your personalized pain relief plan within 24 hours, the value clearly justifies the effort. The key is making sure your value proposition is stronger than the friction your form creates. Principle number 2, progressive disclosure. People are more likely to complete tasks when they can see clear progress and when information is revealed gradually. Instead of showing all 8 form fields at once, you can use a multi-step approach where people see 2 to 3 fields at a time, with a progress indicator showing how close they are to completion. This makes the form feel less overwhelming and increases completion rates significantly. Principle number 3, commitment escalation. Once someone starts filling out your form, they become psychologically invested in completing it. The more fields they complete, the more invested they become. This is why the order of your form fields matters. You want to start with easy, non-threatening questions that get people engaged, then gradually move to more specific information. Principle number 4, social proof and trust indicators. Forms with trust indicators consistently outperform those without them. This might include things like the following: join 500 plus patients who have found relief. Security badges or SSL certificates. We respect your privacy statements. Testimonials visible near the form. Now let me share the biggest mistakes I see chiropractors make with their contact forms. Mistake number 1, asking for too much information. I regularly see contact forms asking for insurance information, emergency contacts, medical history, and detailed symptom descriptions before someone has even had a conversation with the practice. Remember, the goal of your contact form isn't to replace your intake process, it's to start a conversation. Mistake number 2, generic form labels. Most contact forms use generic labels like name, phone, and email, but strategic form labels can actually increase conversion rates. Instead of email, try email for your pain relief guide. Instead of phone, try best number to reach you. Instead of message, try tell us about your main concern. These small changes communicate value and purpose for each field. Mistake number 3, no clear next step. Many forms simply say submit without explaining what happens next. This creates uncertainty and reduces conversions. Better button text might be, get my free consultation, send my pain assessment, schedule my evaluation, and you should include text near the button explaining what happens next, like, we'll call within 24 hours to schedule your consultation. Now let me walk you through what I consider is the optimal contact form structure for chiropractic practices. Field number 1, first name only. Don't ask for first and last name in separate fields. Just ask for first name. It's less formal, feels more personal, and reduces friction. Field number 2, best phone number. Phone is often more valuable than email for healthcare practices because it allows for immediate personal connection. Field number 3, email address. Even if they don't answer the phone, you can follow up via email with helpful resources. Field number 4, the problem-focused question. This is where you differentiate yourself from every other practice. Instead of a generic message field, ask something specific like, what's your biggest health concern right now? What's been bothering you most about your back pain, headaches, neck pain? How long have you been dealing with this issue? This serves multiple purposes. It gets people thinking about their problem. It provides valuable information for follow-up. It increases psychological investment in seeking treatment. Field number 5, the motivation question. This is optional, but can be effective. For some practices, adding a 5th field can actually increase conversions by getting people to articulate their motivation. Following are 3 questions that you can test. What would being pain-free mean to you? What activities are you missing because of this problem? What's your main goal for treatment? The key is testing to see whether the additional field increases or decreases your overall conversion rate. Now let me talk about form design elements that impact conversion. Let's start with visual design principles. Your form should be visually distinct from the rest of your page. This can be achieved through background color or border that makes it stand out, sufficient white space around the form, clear, readable fonts, and appropriate field sizing for the expected input. Next, you need to consider mobile optimization. Remember, over 60% of your traffic is on mobile devices. Your form needs to work perfectly on small screens, so make sure you have large enough fields for easy tapping, appropriate keyboard types, both numeric for phone and email for email, require minimal typing, and use clear, large submit buttons. Last but not least, you need to think about error prevention. Nothing kills form conversion like error messages. Design your form to prevent errors. Use placeholder text to show expected format. Validate fields in real time. Use appropriate input types. Make required fields clear. Here's something most chiropractors don't consider: the location of your contact form on the page. Testing shows that forms placed above the fold, visible without scrolling, generally convert better than those at the bottom of long pages. But the optimal placement depends on your content strategy. If you're using the form as a secondary call to action with a lead magnet, it might perform better lower on the page after you've built value. Let me share some advanced strategies that can significantly boost your form conversion rates. Strategy number 1, exit intent pop-ups. When someone is about to leave your page, you can trigger a pop-up with a simplified version of your contact form. This captures people who were interested but not quite ready to commit. The key is making the pop-up offer something valuable. For example, it might say, "Before you go, get our free guide to understanding your back pain." Strategy number 2, multi-step forms. Breaking your form into 2 to 3 steps can increase completion rates dramatically. For example, Step 1, what's your main concern? Single question. Step 2, contact information, name, phone, email. Step 3, how can we help? Optional additional details. Each step feels manageable, and people become more invested as they progress. Strategy number 3, conditional logic. Smart forms that change based on previous answers can provide a more personalized experience. For example, a question like, "What type of pain are you experiencing?" Give 4 selections like the following: back pain, neck pain, headaches, sports injury. Based on their selection, the next questions become specific to that condition. Strategy number 4, social proof integration. Including social proof elements near your form can boost conversions. For example, having a statement like, "Join 847 patients who have found relief," or featuring testimonials specifically about the consultation process are both great options. Now let's talk about what happens after someone submits your form, because this is where many practices drop the ball. First off, provide an immediate response through your thank you page. Your thank you page should confirm their submission was received, set clear expectations for next steps, provide additional value like bonus content and helpful tips, and include your contact information for immediate needs. Next, make sure you have a follow-up sequence in place. Most practices don't have a systematic follow-up process for form submissions. Here's what should happen. Within 5 minutes, they should receive an automated email confirmation with next steps. Within 2 hours, a personal phone call should be placed to schedule their appointment. Before the end of day 1, send a follow-up email with helpful resources if no answer. On day 3, a second phone call should be attempted. On day 7, send a final follow-up email with alternative contact methods. Last but not least, make sure there's a qualification process. Your form responses should provide enough information to pre-qualify leads and personalize your follow-up. High-quality lead indicators would include specific problem descriptions, urgency in their language, mention of failed previous treatments, clear goals for treatment. This information helps you prioritize follow-up and customize your conversation. Once you've got those things in place, you need to track and optimize your form performance continuously. Key metrics to monitor include form view to submission conversion rate, submission to appointment booking rate, field-by-field abandonment rates, mobile versus desktop performance, and traffic source performance. For example, I worked with a practice that discovered their Facebook traffic converted at 8%, while their Google traffic only converted at 3%. This insight led them to create different forms for different traffic sources, ultimately improving overall performance. All right, before we move on, let me address the technology side briefly. Your form needs to integrate with your practice management system and CRM for optimal follow-up. Key technical requirements should include a mobile responsive design, fast loading times, spam protection without friction, integration with email marketing tools, and analytics tracking capability. For practices using WordPress, there are several good form plugins like Gravity Forms and WP Forms. For those wanting more advanced features, dedicated landing page platforms often provide better conversion optimization tools. Now, let me share some specific form copy that works well for chiropractic practices. For back pain pages, you can use something like this. Ready to get back to the activities you love? Tell us about your back pain and we'll create a personalized recovery plan just for you. For headache pages, use something like this. Tired of living with constant headaches? Get your free headache relief consultation and discover natural solutions that actually work. For auto accident pages, use something like this. Been in an auto accident? Time is critical for proper recovery. Get your specialized injury evaluation scheduled today. The key is matching your form copy to the specific problem and emotional state of your visitors. I know this is a lot of information to take in just for forms, so let me break it down into 5 specific action steps you can apply this week to get moving in the right direction. Audit your current contact form by answering the following questions. Number 1, how many fields are you asking for? Number 2, is your value proposition clear? Number 3, does your button text explain what happens next? Number 4, is the form easy to complete on mobile? Number 5, do you have a systematic follow-up process? From this list, pick the biggest issue you identify and fix it first. Then move to the next highest impact improvement. Remember, small improvements in form conversion can have massive impacts on your practice growth. If improving your form conversion rate from 2% to 8% quadruples your leads, imagine what optimizing every element of your conversion funnel could do for your practice. If you want help implementing these contact form strategies as part of a complete conversion system, head over to chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com. I help chiropractors just like you turn their existing websites into fully automated marketing machines in 30 days or less, without the stress of figuring out how to capture leads or convert them into new patients. I started the company back in 2012 to solve a problem I saw my fellow colleagues struggling with, getting consistent, qualified new patients without spending hours chasing leads or wrestling with complicated tech. Since then, I've helped hundreds of chiropractors build powerful hands-off marketing systems that work for them 24/7, so they can focus on what they do best, serving patients. That's chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com, or simply visit getcmw.com. That's getcmw.com. In our next episode, we're going to dive into phone systems that convert calls into appointments, how to handle incoming calls from your contact forms, what to say in those first crucial moments, and how to turn phone conversations into booked appointments. Because getting someone to fill out your form is only the beginning. Converting that lead into a patient is where the real magic happens. All right, that wraps things up for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. Before you go, remember to subscribe to my podcast on your favorite platform. Whether it's Apple Podcasts, Audible, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, or others, I've got you covered. If you need to see a full list of supported platforms, simply visit chiropracticmarketingpodcast.com. Last but certainly not least, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Apple Podcasts. Your reviews not only help build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also give me a good indication of how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.